Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the October 11, 2023 meeting of the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is now called to order. If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is charged with conducting hearings to determine whether an alleged violation of the city code has occurred. Decisions made by this quasi-judicial board will be based on the evidence and facts presented this evening. Our meetings are conducted in accordance with Robert's Rule of Order, and each case will begin with the city presenting its evidence of the alleged violation. The respondent will then present his or her case. Both parties will have an opportunity to cross-examine all witnesses. The board members may question any witness. Comments by both parties must be relevant to the case. Persons wishing to speak will be given the opportunity to do so by the chair and must address the board from the podium after giving their name and address. Upon request, copies of materials submitted by staff are available for review. Board members are reminded to obtain permission to speak from the chair, and questions of the city should be directed to the attorney for the city. At this time, I'd like to ask all persons who expect to give testimony tonight to please stand and be sworn in by the city clerk.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
As per usual, we will be taking cases out of order tonight. Gentlemen, our first case will be, I think most of the people that are here tonight are for this case, will be case number 23-4112, City versus Sway 2014-1 Borrower LLC.
Case 23-4112, City vs. Sway.
Hang on, we got more to do.
Oh, you do.
We got, yes? At this time, I'd like to ask if any board members have had any ex parte communications regarding any matters coming before the Code Enforcement Board this evening. If you've had verbal communications, please disclose the sum and substance of the communications, when and where the communications occurred, and with whom it occurred. If you receive written communications, please disclose the nature of the communications and provide it to the city clerk to be filed in the record. Starting with Juan.
I have not.
I've had none.
I've had none.
I don't know if I had any. We had, this gentleman came in front of me today to start talking about something at Raintree. I don't know if that's is that a case? It's not a case, okay. So, no.
Yeah, it is.
It is a case?
We do have a case.
Okay, so we didn't get into anything. He just started talking and Ernie quite properly stopped the conversation.
And you can still be a fair and impartial decision maker and base any decision you make tonight on the evidence that will be presented at the hearing?
Absolutely.
I've had none. I've had none.
Okay, the other thing we have to do first is introduce our new member, Juan. Thank you for volunteering your services, and welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Okay, minutes of meeting. Has everybody had a chance to review the September 13, 2023 minutes? Does anybody have any changes, additions? If we have none, I will entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Okay, first case, 23-4112.
Case 23-4112, City vs. Sway 2014-1 Borrower LLC for the property located at 207 Woodbine Avenue. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 10-3B, sanitation, grass weeds, and Section 10-34, sanitation, keep premises clean. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by me on August 14, 2023 for overgrown conditions and trash in the carport area. I left a door hanger with a reinspection date of August 17, 2023. I did contact the property manager on 3 separate occasions requesting them to bring the site into compliance. My reinspection on August 25th showed no change, so I generated a notice of violation on that date with a reinspection date of August 28th. I did email a copy of the notice of violation to the property manager, and I posted the notice at the front door, and a copy was posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed, both regular and certified mail, to the owner of record. The Code Compliance Office did receive several calls from neighbors complaining of the appearance of the residence. With the assistance of the rental housing program, I was provided a new contact information of another property manager who did create a work order for the property to be mowed and cleaned up. My reinspection on September 8th showed no change, so I prepared a notice of hearing and scheduled the case for the October Municipal Code Board meeting. I'd like to submit photographic evidence taken by me on August 25th and September 11th, 2023.
We'll accept those, thank you.
Okay, the site is currently in compliance, and I'd also like to submit an affidavit of compliance.
We'll accept that as well, thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
could you review what you said about that there was a contract or something to get the property mowed? Is that mentioned in, maybe I missed it?
Since you mentioned a work order,
Work
Right,
order?
yeah, we've got a new contact person, a new property manager that was for the company to get them to create a contract. He did create a contract or a work order for somebody to come mow the site. It took him
so
about,
the property owner created the work order,
correct. Well, the property manager.
Okay,
property manager.
okay, thanks.
And the property is currently in compliance.
Yes, sir, seeking a finding.
Okay. Any other questions for the code officer? Okay, the property is in compliance. If you still want to get up and say something, you're welcome to. Each person will have 2 minutes. And if whoever wants to come up first, come on up, state your name and address for the record.
My name's Christopher Kreitz. I live at 211 Woodbine Avenue, next door. Since Invitation Homes has purchased this house, they have put nothing into it. They've just let it dematerialize. They're a firm that just rents houses, so it's just corporate greed. And they're literally taking the money out of our houses because they're using our neighborhood. And it's sad to see this house in such disrepair. Anyway, that's it.
Anyone else?
My name's Neil Scott. I'm at 212 Woodbine Avenue, just across the street. I would second that. It appears like an abandoned house in the middle of homes that are obviously not abandoned. One of the questions I would have, or suggestions I would have, is there any kind, because it's clearly that the rental homes are a problem. I don't know if the city has any action plan about addressing rental homes. I know with B&Bs going on and other hotel rentals, like I've heard Sarasota is kicking in some ideas about. So it's folks that don't live there that are not maintaining their homes, which is a classic. And to Chris's point, in this case, it's a stock exchange firm running financial models on the cheapest house on the block with no maintenance and irresponsible property management, obviously, and a seemingly a difficulty to hold them accountable. So, I mean, those are just some of my observations, and I just wanted to share them because we've lived there for over 30 years, and I've never seen. This is like a house almost like crumbling in front of us, right in the middle of a very nice neighborhood in a community that we obviously enjoy living in. So, sure, yeah.
Whenever he lets me. Yeah.
Go ahead and finish up, and then we'll ask questions.
No, go ahead. That's it. I mean, I just wish there was. I'm just with obviously with the lower interest rates and the ability to leverage financial models, pushing out. You know, we're targets. Temple Terrace is a target for this type of activity because of the type of homes we have, the value of them, stability of the value, the range. So I hope the city kind of has some plan to not make these types of situations a headache for the city so that more citizens have to come and complain, I guess.
So, Mike, I have a couple questions. Number one, I assume the house is currently unoccupied?
It is. They drove the rental guys out. Yes.
And how long has it been unoccupied? For a while?
I would say roughly 2 months.
Okay.
Is that fair?
I would say the end of August,
The ones.
Okay, hang on. If you're gonna speak, you need to come up here and state your name and address. But 2 months
I would just say
2 months is the consensus. Okay, thank you.
2 months.
And are you in agreement that the property currently is in compliance with the violations that were listed here?
At a barely minimum. If you drove down the house, you would look at that house and go, wow, that house is abandoned. I mean, paint job, landscaping, yeah, it looks abandoned. In a home, down a street where no home looks abandoned, it looks very well, well maintained and lived in. So, is it legally in compliance? I would leave that up to the inspector's review. It's not in compliance for the folks living there. But I understand the legalities of that, and that's why I just want to highlight if there are some discussions that can occur or something to have rental properties in a category different than individually owned properties because of the challenges of dealing with a major multi-billion-dollar firm, whereas versus someone, I live in my house and they leave a thing on it. I take it personally. I walk outside and get my mower and I mow the yard. I mean, they didn't like my wildflowers or something.
Thank you.
So that's just my point. Yeah, if you drive down the street, you'll notice that house does not look in good repair. It looks like in minimum repair.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Is there anybody else that wants to come up?
My name's Melissa Newbert. I live at 204 Woodbine. I live across the street, one house down from this property we're discussing. This is not the first time we have come before the board on this one house. I'd say maybe 5 or 6 years ago, there was a renter that had excessive feral cat conditions that we had to come before the board and complain about. This house, as a rental property, has degraded the houses on our street. We're a very close-knit block. We're all homeowners. There's only one other rental property, and they definitely take care of the property. This house has had numerous renters to the point that I'm like, should Temple Terrace have some kind of code factors or requirements for rental homes? I might have dreamed it, but it seemed like years ago I read somewhere that rental homes should have some kind of sticker in a front door or on a front window that is renewed every year, meaning that that house is being investigated or inspected to meet the requirements for what it should. I mean, it's one thing a house going unmowed, I get that. But when you have somebody pull a trash can out at the end of the driveway and they leave it there all week long, and I'm the one having to pull their trash can back up, or there's just trash out in the front carport or walkway or doorway that I have to look at, it's just not right. I'm putting money out of my pocket every month to make sure my yard is well landscaped. I walk the corner, I pick up the trash, and then I have someone across the street that's not. So it makes my house look bad. I just don't get that. So I'm before the board asking for some kind of implementation of code enforcements for rental homes. I don't want to, bash those type of people, but if the rest of the homeowners are expected to keep their properties up, then rental homes should even be a bar, raise that bar a little bit more. And that property owners or management companies should be easy to contact to where I don't have to be contacting Tom or doing emails saying, here we go again, we've got a bad property on the street.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you, ma'am.
I have questions.
For Tom? Okay, let's get everybody else. Anybody else? Were you sworn in, ma'am?
Yes, I
Okay,
was.
thank you. Name and address?
Yes, I'm Julie Bond. I live at 211 Woodbine Avenue, and I've lived there since 2007. And I'm very disappointed that the representative from Invitation Homes left, because there are so many stories I don't even know where to start, and I'll be very quick. We have had renters, Sway 2014 means they bought it in 2014. Their last quarter two earnings were $600 million. So this property, they allowed me to pay for the fence, $4,000 to pay for a fence when the fence between us was rotting, and one of the renters' dogs was charging the fence. I couldn't even go out in my backyard for months. So just to give you just a little background, The first set of young men, there were about 8 of them that lived there, all of these have ended in police activity. So those people left because of drugs. The police all descended. They had to leave. We did have, then there was the cat house. So the lady had all the cats living in the house. She lived in the mother-in-law, the ADU that they rent. She lived back there while all the cats were in the main house. And I could not even go out in my backyard because her cats were in my backyard every day, and I have 2 dogs, and I had to go and scoop their poop every day. So that you saw that before the board. Then this next set is absolutely the worst. These people have been rotating in and out. They have a scheme. The last man standing, I had to call the police on several times. I could not even go sit out on my front porch without having them harass me. They would sit out on the roof. I know that one of our neighbors has a story because he went through it. You don't know, this house was trashed. They broke glass in it. And one of our neighbors saw that with the fire department. They trashed everything. So I'll just end with this story. And my neighbor Helen also saw this young man who came knocking on my door the end of August. I don't answer my door when I'm at home. And I didn't answer it, but I saw him pacing back and forth. He's pacing back and forth. So I went out to talk to him. He was the young man that lived, he had just moved in, I guess, maybe 4 or 5 months ago because they had this scheme advertising for people. He was living in the ADU. So that was his home. He told me that he had been robbed. He had his laptop stolen and his game station stolen. And I felt really bad for him. He was crying. And so I said, call the police, please. I talked him through some things. I said, can you do fingerprints? And he called the police. The police did come and talk to me, but they said there was nothing they could do. So anyway, this young man, I really felt bad for him. He said he works 12 hours a day as a chef, but he told me some of the information. He said the last tenant standing there, the last one left, he was the one who was harassing me. He was trying to rent it out to anyone he could find, but he said he was not going to stay there because he could not live in that house from what he saw was happening inside there. Now, I didn't ask him what that was. Our other neighbor and the man from the rental, what is his name?
Len?
Yes, they saw the aftermath. The day the Invitation Homes man pulled up, he talked to me and he said to me, what's the status of this home? And I said, well, I don't know. This is your home. And he said, well, I don't know the status of it. And I guess when he went through, he was scared to go into the bedrooms because he didn't know if someone was in there. He didn't know, what was going on. He told me they would take care of things, but then they did not mow the lawn for many more weeks. I'm not happy to hear that it's just in compliance. That is not the story. It was out of compliance for weeks and weeks and weeks. I don't think that that's fair for us, that they can just walk away from this. This house was sold on a short sale in 2014. So they bought it on a short sale. It wasn't inhabitable. They proceeded to rent it since 2014. And everyone here has had to deal with that. I've taken the brunt of it because my property is right on theirs. And when I talked to the Invitation Homes person about the dog that had been coming into my yard, it just was out in my yard all the time. The renter there decided to hold that against me. And so it was not a good situation. And that was her therapy dog, so that's why she was allowed to have it there. It wasn't a real service animal, it was an emotional support animal, ESA. So anyway, that's just a little short story. This is why I don't feel that they should just, we're in compliance. We're not going to get fined.
Any questions? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, but you had your 2 minutes. Oh, darn it. I'm sorry. If a question comes up that... Yeah.
Hi, my name's Jeannie Scott, and I live at 212 Woodbine Avenue. I think we're just all here because we are all longtime residents of Temple Terrace, and we love our city, and we're invested in the community here. And we don't want to see a decline going on. And we've been dealing with this house on our street for years and years, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And it will, of course, affect the property value of our homes eventually. What they wanted me to say was we were wondering if the fencing around the house was in compliance, because that's just rotting and falling down, and the gates are, they were redone, but it looks really bad. They just threw up, anything they could, the cheapest thing they could get. And then also when they did this last cleanup, they removed all the vegetation around the house, just hacked it. So it's completely bare. And then they just spread a very sorry smattering of red mulch across the front. And then, of course, we have the terrible peeling paint job as well. So I don't know what you guys can do about all these things, but we would just appreciate if somehow this company could be held accountable. Thank you.
Hang on. Any questions for her? Okay, any questions for anybody? Go ahead.
Yes.
Do you like to speak? Yeah, come on up. Name and address, please.
I'll make it good and quick. Randy Newbert, full-time resident of Temple Terrace. I've been here twice.
Name and address, please.
204 Woodbine.
Thank you.
Caddy Corner. And needless to say, I've only been here twice, and somebody like James has had a lifetime here, has been here all the time. Well, I haven't been here for this dadgum house twice.
Okay.
It's unfortunate that landscaping is the only thing you can enforce, and to bring back what she mentioned. You need some type of codes on the renters, or this is going to happen again, and it'll be some other family sitting here with the same stories. That's it.
Okay, you have a question for Tom?
For Tom. Yes, Tom.
Yes, sir.
From what I hear from all.
You can have a seat, sir. Thank you.
It seems to me there are more violations on the house.
Alleged.
Potential violations on the house. Can the city re-examine that, except like paint, broken windows, bad fences?
Okay.
Even the appearance, there's something in the code, I think it's about eyesore or whatever it is. And it's got to be also, landscaping must be maintained well, not just to hack it like that or something.
Well, I went by today, and the property's been mowed. The vegetation that they were talking about has been cleared. I don't know of any broken windows. I do know that Julie and I spoke about the fence on the north side of the property. From the street area, and I actually went in that property, and I did address the gate side towards the street. They did come out and made somewhat sufficient repairs to that fence. I put it in compliance. So I know Len Valenti is the housing inspector. He has some violations that are going on inside, and I think there's more violations going on inside than outside. This evening, you have 2 violations presented to the board. One was for the overgrown conditions and the trash debris that was at the carport. So that's it's all in compliance. So if you looked at the trash by the carport area, it was bad. I mean, it was bad. Today, it's been all cleaned up. I'm not going to say it's a perfect home, but it looks from the street, it looks much, much better. I've had 17 years of experience of that property. I know their concerns. I invited these people tonight, Woodbine neighbors, to come out to voice their concerns.
Even
But-
having the trash can outside for a long time, that's a violation, right?
That is a violation. But that's, it's transient. It comes and goes. So unless that inspector drives by on the right day and notices the can out, then he could write it up. But to get an LLC to take care of a trash can, and I'm just being honest with the board, it's very difficult. That's the least, they're not concerned about a trash can. If it's
Any other-
homesteaded,
any other-
owner occupied, yes, they're concerned because they do the right thing, and they move the trash can from the curb area to the.
Thank you, Tom. Any other questions?
One quick question. As a rental property, there are specific requirements for the inside of the property too, and those are the things that you're talking about, that health and safety stuff.
It's a yearly inspection that they have an inspector come to their home
Okay.
and do a yearly inspection.
Okay.
If there's no other questions, I entertain a motion. Anyone?
I can do this one, I guess.
Thank you.
In case number 23-4112, I move the city has proven by a greater weight of evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace Code did exist on the property located at 207 Woodbine Avenue. The applicable code sections are 10-34 and 10-3 subsection B. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer and other witnesses, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. So the property has been found in compliance, so there's no fine. However, because of tonight, if it happens again within, how many days, Ernie?
Well, actually, I was just looking that up.
Yeah.
3 years or 5 years? Is it 5 years?
Okay, so if it happens again within 5 years, it's considered a repeat violation, and the fines are faster and more furious. Hang on a sec, I'm not done. So, to address your other concerns, there is various codes for various things, including leaving your trash can out too long. Okay, that's a code violation. But like you said, you got to catch it. We also have the rental housing program that inspects the homes once a year for fire safety and safety of the occupants, et cetera, et cetera. Many of you have mentioned changing that. This is the wrong venue. I'm sorry, okay? If you want to make changes to the rental housing program or to the codes or whatever, you would need to present that to city council. We're just soldiers, okay? We just follow the rules. And whatever the rules end up being, that's the rules we follow. So if you want to change the rules, you got to go to council to do that. But just keep in mind, we do have a rental housing program. We do have a number of codes that talk about the upkeep and cutting the lawns and all that good stuff. The other thing that everybody kept saying, well, what if it's an Airbnb? If it's Airbnb, it'd be worse because Airbnbs are regulated by the state. And we can't override, the city of Temple Terrace cannot enact a code or an ordinance that is more strict than the state. Okay, we just can't. Okay, so if it's not an Airbnb, so count your blessings. Okay, yes, sir.
I'd just like to add one thing. The property, as we heard today, it's going to be for sale. So the 5 years falls under the owner that's being.
The current owner.
Today,
Yeah, the current
it has to be
owner.
the same. It has to be the same owner.
Yeah, so if it does go up for sale, the clock starts all over again.
Just so you know.
Now, a suggestion for all of you that are here, if you see something, take a picture of it. Make sure you have a date stamp on it and send it over. Okay, now, just so you know, the new rules, new state rules, says that we can no longer have anonymous complaints. So if you make a complaint, you got to put your name on it. You got to own it. Okay, so that a lot of times that stops people from doing it because, yeah. Okay, so, but a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So if you see a violation, take a picture of it, date stamp it, send it on over to code. You can do it through email. You can bring a hard copy down, however you want to do it. And then, it'll get the same attention that every other violation gets. And, I know it's frustrating sometimes because it takes, by the time it gets to us, it's been a month at least or more. But that's the process, okay? And that's the process because, everybody has rights, even the people we don't like. Okay, so that's just, that's whatever that's worth. So thank you for coming. You're welcome to stay. We have a pretty full agenda. You want to hang out and listen, you're welcome to, but you don't have to. Okay, thanks again. Okay, our next case will be case number 0773.
Case number 23-0773, City versus Raintree Manor Condo Association for the property located at 6202 Greenleaf Lane. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12-861E6, fences appearance. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated proactively by Director Baroni and I on December the 19th, 2022. My inspection revealed the masonry buffer wall along East Fowler Avenue was not being kept neat nor clean. The property manager, Mr. Stubbs, and I had a conversation on the 10th of February 2023 on how to bring the wall into compliance. Mr. Chairman, Mrs. Moyer with Vanguard Management contacted me on April the 3rd, 2023, and stated she was actively looking for a contractor and was accepting bids for the wall. She stated she had met a vendor that morning and needed 4 more bids to take to the next HOA board meeting. The 5th of April, 2023, after discussing with Director Baroni the lack of progress thus far regarding the wall, I contacted Ms. Moyer and asked for a good faith effort on their part, as no work had been started previously as discussed. On May the 2nd, 2023, Ms. Moyer called and stated the remaining binds would be removed from the wall, loose paint scraped, stuccoed, and then repainted. The 17th of May, 2023, Ms. Moyer contacted me and advised she was still getting bids for the wall and she would let me know the board's decision after their next meeting. On June the 28th, 2023, Ms. Moyer contacted me and stated she had met with the board members and would be applying for a loan to repair the wall. My reinspection on the 21st of July, 2023 revealed the remaining dead vines on the wall had been removed, but no other work had been started. Therefore, notice of violation was prepared with a compliance date of September the 18th, 2023. Affidavit of service was obtained by hand delivery to Janet Moyer. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the violations taken by Director Baroni and I on the 20th and 25th of September 2023.
We'll accept those, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Exhibit number 1 shows the outside buffer wall not exhibiting a uniform appearance. Exhibit number 2 shows the outside wall entrance into the condos not neat nor clean. Exhibit number 3 shows the inside buffer wall not neat nor clean. Exhibit number 4 shows the inside buffer wall with paint peeling. Exhibit number 5 shows the inside buffer wall along East Fowler Avenue. Exhibit number 6 and 7 are photos taken from the entrance of Raintree, heading west along East Fowler Avenue that demonstrates the neat and clean appearance that code staff was attempting to accomplish. On October the 2nd, 2023, while driving on East Fowler Avenue, I noticed repairs taking place on the buffer wall. As of today's date, the site remains out of compliance and I am seeking a ruling.
Thank you. Any questions for the code officer? Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
So you're saying they've made some progress, or?
Yes, sir, they have. They got started on the wall as far as removing the remaining dead vines have been removed from the wall, as well as cleaning the wall, scraping the loose paint, and doing some stucco work. So yes, sir, the repairs have started.
Any other questions? Is there anybody here from the public?
Yes, sir. Miss Janet Moyer is here this evening from Vanguard Management, sir, and would like to come up and address the board.
Okay. Has she been sworn in? Okay, come on up and state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, I'm Janet Moyer. I live at 8010 Ballara Drive in Temple Terrace. I am the property manager for Raintree. I have been working closely with Lori through this process, and part of the problem that caused a delay was their homeowner documents did not allow for an easy way to raise the funds to fix the wall. So the board was looking at various ways while we were getting bids to come up with a plan to raise the money. We did apply for a bank loan, which we've been approved for. We did get a contractor to finally come up with a plan and a good price. And so we have started the work. It's not complete, but we will get it finished. They're working every day. But that's what's been going on. The delay did have to do with raising the funds.
So your condo documents don't allow you to do an assessment?
No.
Okay.
It took a unit owner vote of 300 owners to raise their dues, and they were never going to get. So We were allowed, we met with the attorney, we had numerous meetings on how to fix the wall. We've got numerous opinions on the wall. So it was really an ongoing process, which I relayed to Lori, all the steps we were trying to take. It wasn't just, we don't want to do it.
And you now have the funds and a contractor
Yes.
to do everything.
Yes.
Okay. And
I
how-
have some pictures of,
Hang on a second. How much time do you think you'll need to to bring the property into compliance?
I'm not sure. I know he's working diligently. He knows we had this meeting tonight, and he knows we want it done as soon as possible. He's working every day. He's got a crew out there. So it's just going to be continuous. He's gotten a lot of work done. And once the outside's completed, he's got it stuccoed, and now he's going to put the paint on it. We have some more vines to remove, so we have to do that.
Okay.
And then he's going to move to the inside of the wall, but it's not going to be a do part and stop. He knows he's there.
Okay,
Till it's
you have some
finished.
Pictures you want us to see?
Yes.
Let Ernie take a look at them. Pass them
I
on.
have 3 sets of the same pictures.
I think they only need one.
One?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any questions?
I was just gonna.
Go ahead.
I know you said you didn't know exactly when they'd be finished, but do you think, we meet every month, so do you think 30 days is sufficient amount of time to complete the work?
For the outside of the wall, yes.
Yeah.
Would that bring them into compliance, or is the inside has to be done as well?
Both sides, yeah.
Okay.
So maybe I want to request 60 days.
Yeah, if I could request the additional time,
Do you have any
to
objection?
make sure we meet
Do you have any
the,
objection to that?
I don't have any, no. There's
Okay.
a lot of work that needs to be done there.
it's a long wall.
I was gonna say, do you know what the estimated footage, like linear footage of the wall is? Because it looked pretty big.
Offhand, I don't. It is a very big wall.
Okay, okay, one at a time. Any other questions?
It looked big.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
That's fair.
Is there anybody else that'd like to, do
One more question.
you have a question?
Yeah,
ahead.
is the 60 days enough, you think? To
Well, they
keep-
they can come back.
they come-
I was gonna ask, if 60 days isn't sufficient, can we,
What typically we give, it would be 30 days. If this board, even if you're found in violation, you'll have 30 days typically
Right,
get 30
right.
days to fix it. If 30 days isn't enough, you come back to the next meeting, show that you're making progress, tell us what you think needs to be left, and then you can ask for an extension,
oh, okay,
okay? Now, no guarantees you'll get it, but you can ask for it. And
okay.
if there's a reason to give it to you, we'll give it to you. As long as you're making progress, but, if you fire your contractor tomorrow and everything sits for 30 days, you're not gonna get an extension.
No, I understand.
Okay, so it's up to you guys. I mean, you can do a normal 30 days or you can give them 60 days or whatever you provide. The city isn't opposed to 60 days apparently. So just keep that in mind. Is there anybody else that would like to speak? Come on up, state your name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Ken Tozier. I live in Raintree, and I've been there for about 7 years.
Address, please.
6269 Dewdrop Way,
Thank you.
Temple Terrace, Florida, 33617-7221. So I've observed this wall. I mean, I used to commute to go into graduate school. I traveled on a 2-lane road in front of Raintree. It was a beautiful facility. Then I moved in there, and then I moved in there. Anyway, that wall has been there for 50 years. It has been widely disregarded. Whatever problems it has not been attended to. No paint, nobody's cleaned it. There are still vines on at least a third of the wall. And those should be removed. They're all damaging to the surface of the wall. I do have something that I would like to distribute. Can I give that to, okay? Not only is it aesthetically mispleasing, the appearance of it, but structurally, it's not sound. When they built the wall, they put the course of block down. They put their mortar on it. Then they put a row of galvanized steel on top to build rigidity to the wall. Well, that wall is leaked. All of the metal in it is rotted. As you'll see by some of the pictures that are coming around, there are places in the wall, you you need to rebuild it. You need to take part of that wall down and rebuild it. You cannot patch it. I guess you could, and in 2 years, somebody would be back to have it repatched again. But in the meantime, and I've conferred with three other engineers on this particular matter. Each one has come back and made a recommendation as to the type of wall. That wall needs to be taken down. It needs to be replaced. And the wall it could be replaced with is about $280,000. They spent $50,000 on what they're doing right now, and it's very temporary. A permanent wall with a 30-year warranty would be the answer. Any questions?
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
I have a question. You're saying a lot of walls. I'm an engineer. You can fix walls.
Yeah,
You
right.
can
You
fix
can.
bridges if you want to.
Yeah.
But to really that's I don't know. I don't see anything in the code. If they fix it and it's in compliance, in my opinion, it's not going to be something bad. But the continuous though, I would recommend to management continuous maintenance of the wall would be probably recommended. But that would be something else they can do.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're an engineer and you can appreciate anything can be repaired. So I approached one of the foremans for this job and I asked him, well, what do you think about polishing a turd? He said, well, you can spend the money any way you want. I mean, people do. He had he did not comply with the legitimacy of repairing the wall the way it is. He was just brushing me off. And yes, you could repair it. But would you repair it for $500,000 or would you fix it with a brand new wall with a 30-year warranty for $280,000? And I think repairing it for $280 versus replacing or remedying it for $500 makes a lot more sense.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Does the wall as it stands present any sort of health or safety issues?
I would say yes. There have been 3 major accidents outside of the entrance of Raintree. Fatalities on all 3 of them have occurred, multiple fatalities. And if that occurred on the north side of the entrance, somebody coming through could go through the wall, and there are 20 units on the north side of that wall within 30 feet of the wall. Now don't forget, when that was built, it was a 2-lane road. I traveled on it to go to graduate school. It's now a 6-lane road with turn lanes. I mean, the distance to the wall is probably something like from here to the edge of the room. Here to the edge of the room. If I'm wrong, it's from here to the edge of the room. It's close. It's so close, somebody could very likely die. And a lot of people walk that wall. Grandmothers with their kids, grandkids. It's just something that would be so easy to fix. Why leave it?
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Yes, I'll do this.
Thank you.
By the way, one other point here. There are 296 households, not 300, 296 in Raintree. If you assign any kind of a daily fine, that's going to hurt everybody in Raintree. They have the opportunity to get the wall fixed. You may not have the right management in place to make that happen, but it will happen. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, I will now entertain a motion.
Okay.
Go ahead.
In case number 23-0773, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 6202 Greenleaf Lane, with the applicable code violation, section 12-861, subsection E, subsection 6, fences appearances. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with any other witnesses and evidence, including photos, affidavit, affidavits, and the notice of violation of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that the said violation be corrected on or before, we're on October, November. Do we have one for December?
December 13th.
Yes, move to be on December 13th, 2024. If the respondent does,
December 13, 2024?
That's a long time.
yes.
Year.
Yes. Oh, 2023.
That's a really long time.
Sorry.
Why don't you start over?
From the beginning?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In case number 23-77-3, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 6202 Greenleaf Lane, with the applicable code violation section 12-86-1, subsection E, subsection 6, fences. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move the violation is be corrected on December 13th, 2023. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before the day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $50 per day.
Is there a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I just, as far as the $50 per day, they obviously have had a lot of trouble getting this done, and they also have made progress there. I mean, one of the criteria that we use as far as selecting the amount of the fine is that any actions they've taken, and they've obviously been involved with Lori for quite a while to get the process moving, and they've also started work. So
I consider the gravity of the violation. It's not a small wall. It's not a little house wall.
And there were some pretty large gaps.
And it's
90 days.
Yeah, and we're giving them longer time. So
October, November, December.
yeah,
This is October.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
60 days, yeah.
60 days. That's what I balanced between both of these, giving them ample time, and then, as David said, also they might come for extension. I have the feeling they're going to come and ask for another extension, because that's a big job. I just don't want to make it $25 where they just don't hurry up and do it.
Okay.
Sense of urgency.
Yes, urgency.
Well, hopefully 60 days will all be done, so.
And hopefully, I'll add to that, I leave it to our code enforcement people to make sure that the structurally sound. Nobody will be walking next to it, a dog or a mom or little kids or a bicycle or something. It just bumps into it, falls on him or something.
Well, about to happen. Any other discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. So you have been found in violation of the code. You have until December 13th to bring the bring the property into compliance. If the property is not brought into compliance by that date, technically you should start receiving a fine of $50 per day. However, you are welcome to come back to our meeting and present your case for an extension. Okay? Good luck. Next case will be 23-2987.
Case 23-2987, City versus Diana Bartlett and Randall Bartlett for the property located at 12706 North 53rd Street. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12-861E6, fences appearance. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, board members, Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated from a citizen complaint on May 31st, 2023. My inspection revealed overgrown grass, there was an in-op with an expired tag on the driveway, and the north and south side wooden fence was in disrepair. I left 3 door hangers with a compliance date of the 2nd and 9th of June 2023. My inspection on June 2nd, 2023 revealed the grass had been cut and the end of the expired tag was now covered with an automotive cover. My inspection on the 9th of June 2023 revealed the wooden fence on the north and south side of the property remained out of compliance. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with a compliance date of June 30th, 2023. Affidavit of service was obtained by hand delivery to homeowner Diana Bartlett. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the violations taken by me on the 13th of June and September the 27th, 2023.
We'll accept those. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, I spoke with Ms. Bartlett in person on June the 13th and also on September the 20th, 2023, and discussed the remaining fence violation. Exhibit number 1 shows the south side wooden fence in disrepair. Exhibit number 2 shows the south side wooden fence lacking a neat and clean appearance. Exhibit number 3 shows the north side wooden fence in disrepair. Exhibit 4 shows north side wooden fence in disrepair. As of today's date, the site remains out of compliance and I am seeking a ruling.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions for the code officer? You said the respondent is here?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Ms. Bartlett is in attendance and would like to come up and address the board.
Okay, was she sworn in?
Excuse me?
Was she sworn in?
Ms. Bartlett, you were sworn in.
Okay.
Yes,
Come
sir.
on up, state your name and address for the record, and the floor is yours.
Diana Bartlett, 12706 North 53rd Street, Temple Terrace, Florida, 33617. I so far been taking care of the fence. Sorry, I have a couple of brain injuries.
That's okay. Take your time.
I have a photo here of the back section.
Ernie?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Back section, that I already put the 2 panels up on that. I asked Lori, if I could do, I get paid at the end of the month. So I did some for this month, but next time I do, I have to pull a permit because I have more sections closer up that need to be replaced. And so I'm hoping for a 30-day extension.
So you know the other option is to take all of it down.
I'm sorry?
The other option is to take it all down.
Yes, but I have a lot of bamboo in the backyard, and it just doesn't look good.
Okay.
I'll repair it, yeah.
Okay.
I have a question.
Are you doing this work yourself?
Yeah, that was
My cousin did.
Okay. Okay.
That was, yeah,
Any other questions for the respondent?
I was gonna ask.
Go ahead.
If you and your cousin are doing this, and you're asking for 30 days, is that realistic?
Probably 60 days. But only because money-wise, that's the only reason why it would take so long. Because I could definitely do 2 sections at a time, and I think I've got the rest of the front. I would say there's probably 6 sections, so I'll have to do 3 each next 3 months for make it all pretty.
Now, is that including this month, or have you already, or this?
I already did this month, yes.
Does the city have any?
He hasn't applied for a permit yet, correct?
Not yet, but that's why I said before I go any further, I do need to pull the permit.
How long does it take to?
Well, fence permits are like the same day.
Pretty easy, yeah.
And does the city have any objection to 60 days?
No.
Okay.
Are you replacing the planks individually, or are you changing the section?
Individually, I can't lift them,
Right.
and I don't have a big vehicle to put the big thing, so I had to put them in my car.
Okay.
The big post and that's holding up were cemented in. So it's not gonna fall down anytime soon.
Okay.
And also the front yard, and everything has been taken care of.
That's what she said.
So it's just the fencing really more.
Lori, any reason you have the grant 60 days?
I'm sorry?
Okay, thank you. Okay, you can have a seat, ma'am.
Okay.
If there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do that again.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do one. Yeah, let me do one.
Go ahead,
Just,
go ahead.
I don't want you to get all.
Somebody.
I don't want you to get all the glory.
It's similar to the
We
other
used to
one.
keep track.
well.
We used to give out points, right?
Wait,
for how
while,
many.
while I remember that date.
Give out lollipops.
I wrote it down just hopefully I'll remember it. Yeah, so.
Old
I
song.
had the date for you.
Okay. All right. So let's get started here. In case number 23-2987, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 12706 North 53rd Street. And the code violation section is 12-861-E-6. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Lori Smith and Mrs. Bartlett, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before, December 13th, 2023. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. So, ma'am, you have been found in violation for the fence. You have until December 13th to bring the fence into compliance. If for any reason that the fence is still out of compliance by December 13th, you may come back here and ask for an extension. There is no guarantee you will receive an extension, but you're welcome to come back and ask for one. Okay? Thank you. Good luck. Okay, we're going to start at the first case, 230427.
Back to normal.
Case 230427, City versus 5400 Bush Boulevard LLC for the property located at 5400 East Bush Boulevard. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 12-1047 Landscape Maintenance and Section 12-1049 Landscaping Parameters. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by me on January 24th, 2023 for a commercial landscape not having a functional irrigation system and not having the required perimeter landscape hedge. I met with Mike Godin to make him aware of what needed to be done and provided a reinspection date of February 12th. Some work was begun but did not continue to bring the site into compliance. On May 24th, I prepared a notice of violation with a reinspection date of June 23rd. I hand-delivered a copy to Mike Godin, and a copy was posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. Work began to progress on the irrigation system and on mulching the site, but did come to a stop. My reinspection on September 20th showed no change, so a notice of hearings prepared on that date, and a case was scheduled for the October Municipal Code Board meeting. This time, I'd like to submit a copy of the affidavit of service and photographic evidence taken by myself on July 25th, 2023.
Accept that, thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows the affidavit of service. Exhibit number 2 shows an unmulched landscaped area, and exhibit number 3 shows unplanted and unmulched landscape areas. Exhibit number 4 shows an unmulched landscaped area. The site is not in compliance, and I'm seeking the ruling.
Any questions for the code officer?
Yeah, so you said some work had started.
Yep, it would start and stop and start and stop, so that's why it took so long to kind of get the case going forward. I'd see things happening, so I felt optimistic, and then they would come to a stop. And
part of the work involved installing an irrigation system?
There's an existing irrigation system, but parts of it needed to be repaired. Some of that work was done, and then again it came to a halt, and I'm not sure really why. I don't know I think there was issues getting either contractors to show up or be approved for the work. I'm not really sure what.
And any recent communication with the property manager?
Probably the last time's when I dropped off the affidavit of notice for the hearing tonight, which would have been roughly 2 weeks ago.
He didn't indicate
That
any
he's-
problems he was having getting people to do the work or anything like
He was said that he's been in contact with different contractors, but I'm not sure what has been the issue since then.
Okay.
Whether they're not showing up or what it is, I couldn't guess.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Someone?
All right, I can do this one too.
Okay.
In case number 23-0427, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exist on the property located at 5400 East Bush Boulevard. The code sections are 12-1047 and 12-1049. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Doug Allen, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. Further move that said violations be corrected on or before, what's the next? November 8th, 2023. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violations continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violations, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violations, and any previous violations committed by a violator, I move that the fine be $50 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Next case would be 2847.
Case 23-2847, City versus John J. Carthy and Hiroko in Carthy, the property located at 418 Dunedin Circle. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 12-8592, RVs, boats, and trailers, and Section 12-921, parking residential property. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, co-board members, Jose Silva, Co-Compliance Officer. This case originated on June 3rd, 2023, after I received an email from Director Baroni regarding his observations. I responded to the residents and noted yard parking and an RV unscreened from view. At this time, I left door hangers with a compliance date of June 8th, 2023. My reinspection on June 27, 2023 noted no change. This time I completed a notice of violation with a compliance date of July 3rd, 2023. Posted a notice at the home as well as City Hall. Copies were mailed both certified and regular mail to the address of the registered owner. On July 3rd, 2023, I was contacted by Michael Carthy, who was requesting additional time, which time he was granted a 2-week extension. During our conversation, I explained to him what needed to be done to correct the violations. On September 19, 2023, the property was re-inspected and there was no change. At this time, I'd like to submit 3 photographs, notice posted at the door, RV unscreened from view, and the yard parking.
We'll accept those. Thank you.
As of today's date, the property is still out of compliance, seeking a ruling.
Good. Any questions for the code officer?
Yeah, so there's two vehicles, there's an RV and then a car that are still parked.
Yes, just like that.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do this.
Thank you.
You do it?
God's excited.
Gina will do it. Gina,
Somebody.
you want to do it? Gina.
Rod was doing them all last time.
Can't give him all the fun.
Let's do an order.
Let's just,
In case number 23-2847, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exist on the property located at 418 Dunedin Circle. Violations being Section 12-859, subsection 2, and Section 12-921. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before November 8th, 2023. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that date, They are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violations, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine to be $50 a day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Next case, please, which should be 23-3448.
23-3448, City versus Schulman Real LLC, for the property located at 803 Bellmead Circle. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 8-28A1, permits, application required. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you again, Jose Silva, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated July 7, 2023. My inspection at the time noted a new wood privacy fence installed on the west side of the residence without a permit. At this time, I took a photograph and emailed community development. On August 1st, 2023, I checked the system and noted no permit was issued. This time I completed a notice of violation with a compliance date of August 25th, 2023. Posted a notice at the home as well as City Hall. Copies were mailed both certified and regular mail to the address of the registered owner and by email to the property manager. On August 8, 2023, I received an email from the property manager indicating several pieces of the fence panels were removed and a temporary green mesh was installed until the permit could be obtained. The property manager was given until September 15, 2023 to obtain the permits. My inspection on September 30, 2023 noted 4 fence panels still up along with a green mesh screening. This time I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the notice posted at the door, the fence panels with the green mesh, and the curbside debris of the old fence.
Accept those. Thank you.
As of today's date, the property is in compliance. They pulled down the fence panels that needed to be pulled down. So I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance.
Accept that. Thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
Yeah, so by being in compliance, they're in compliance with the stop work order, or they're in compliance, because
They're in compliance. They put, three panels or less, you don't need a permit.
But aren't there still holes in the fence that need to be?
There's still holes. That's the next issue. That's going to be a separate case because the fence is not continuous.
Gotcha, okay.
And what's the purpose of tearing the fence down and putting the green mesh up? How does that?
They were putting the mesh up in order because the neighbor has a dog to keep the neighbor from coming.
So they thought if they took the fence down, that would satisfy you, and if put the green mesh up that doesn't need a permit, that would stop the dog from doing whatever the dog.
What they did is they pulled the fence down except 4 panels and put green mesh up. They left the poles in the ground with the green mesh.
I get it.
Code states the fence must be continuous. You can't have any breaks in the fence.
That was their attempt to circumvent.
Correct. So they were given time to bring it in, correct the violation, obtain a permit. They didn't obtain a permit, so what they did now is they pulled the 4th fence panel down, took the green mesh out, and only left 3 fence panels up. Per building department, 3 fence panels, you don't need a permit.
Now they have 3 fence panels and then space.
Correct. So it must be continuous, so that'll be a separate case unless they pull down the entire fence.
Okay.
And it seems like it would have just been easier to ask for an extension.
Well, whatever.
The PM says the owners in New Jersey, it's LLC.
Well, that explains it.
And they don't want to spend the money, so.
Yes. Some people like going over the mountain.
Okay, well,
You got this?
Yes.
go ahead.
Yeah, so we'll see you again,
So there are 3 panels
Correct.
that they don't need a permit for.
No, you don't need permit for.
They need one for the 4th panel. So can they now go to the city and say, I'm just going to put up 1 panel?
No, they got to get a permit. Anything over 3 panels, you need a permit.
Okay, I mean, I'm just thinking, I can do 3 here and 1 over here.
They tried to circumvent it, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, okay, I was just curious.
No, you can't do that, Gina.
I didn't think so. I was just making sure.
Just like you can't, never mind. Never mind.
case you were-
Okay. If there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I got this one.
Thank you. It's,
You gotta move.
gotta get in there,
Yeah, you
man.
gotta move fast, yeah.
First rule of Fight Club. In case number 233448, I move the city as proven by a greater weight of the evidence. The following violations of the City of Temple Terrace Code did exist on the property located at 803 Belmead Circle. And the sections, it's section 8-28, subsection A, subsection 1. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, not Jose Silva, Doug. Silva, sorry. I promise I was paying attention. Along with any evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
it's not in compliance.
I thought you said it was
He
in
said it
compliance.
was in compliance.
It is in
Oh, it's,
compliance.
okay, but,
But it will be
okay.
here for another.
Gotcha.
Right, yeah, the other issues are going to be.
My bad, sorry.
But this makes them, that would make them a repeat.
You okay?
If this
You're
is.
good.
That's after, that's it.
I still fixated on the green mesh, sorry.
Keeps the riffraff out.
Okay, so we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Next case, please. Should be 3778.
Case 233778, City vs. Beverly S. Deason for the property located at 7720 Willow Park Drive. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 10-3B, sanitation grass weeds. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank
Good
you.
evening again, Jose Silva, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated July 24, 2023. My inspection at the time noted the yard grass of the residence to be overgrown. This time I left the door hanger with a compliance date of July 27, 2023. My inspection on July 28, 2023 noted no change, so I completed a notice of violation with a compliance date of August 4, 2023. Posted notice at the home as well as City Hall. For the 10-day requirement, copies were mailed both certified and regular mail to the address of the registered owner. My inspection on August 8, 2023 noted the yard grass to still be overgrown. I did speak to Mr. Deason, the owner's son, and was advised that he would hire someone to cut the grass. On August 14th, I noted the yard grass was cut, so I closed the case, placing it in compliance. On September 13th, 2023, I observed the yard grass again overgrown. Since it was within 45 days and the violation reoccurred, it was set for the October MCEB. This time I'd like to submit 4 photographs, notice posted at the door, and the yard grass overgrown.
I'll accept those, thank you.
As of today's date, the grass is cut, and I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance.
Certainly accept that, thank you.
It's in compliance.
Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do this one.
Thank you.
Let me do one with compliance. I like that. I feel joy.
Let's do it.
Reason to celebrate, yep.
In case number, which case are we on?
You're 233778.
Yes. In case number 233778, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 7720 Willow Park Drive with the applicable code violation section 10-3 subsection B. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Jose Silva, and other witnesses along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move there'll be no fine imposed because the violation were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Second. Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. Next case, please.
Can we go ahead and do 4417? That's Jose's last case.
Sure.
What is here?
Come on up.
Case number 23-4417, City versus Celine Mariah Belkins, for the property located at 8605 Beverly Drive. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 10-3B, sanitation grass weeds. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Jose Silva, Co-Compliance Officer. This case originated September 1st, 2023. My inspection at the time noted the yard grass of the residents overgrown again. This time I completed a notice of violation with a compliance date of September 8, 2023. I posted the notice at the resident's gate since it was posted no trespassing, as well as City Hall. Copies were mailed, both certified, regular mail to the address of the registered owner. My inspection on September 11, 2023 noted the yard grass of the residents to still be overgrown. This time I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the notice posted at the gate and the yard grass overgrown.
We'll accept that. Thank you.
As of today's date, property is in compliance and I'm seeking a finding.
Very good. Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
All right, I'll do it.
Thank you.
All right. Case number 234417. I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist at the property located at 8605 Beverly Drive. The violation is Section 10-3, subsection B. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Jose Silva, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that no fine be imposed because the violation was brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Next case. Last case.
The last case is 23-4331, City versus Aldwin LLC, for the property located at 405 Park Ridge Avenue. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 12-861E6, fences appearance. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening once again, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by me on August 24th, 2023 for a wooden fence in disrepair. I left a door hanger with a reinspection date of September 1st, 2023. My reinspection on September 5th showed no change, so I prepared a notice of violation on that date with a reinspection date of September 21st. I posted the notice at the site as well as at City Hall for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on September 21st showed no change, so I prepared a notice of hearing on that date, and the case was scheduled for the October Municipal Code Board meeting. This time I'd like to submit photographic evidence taken by myself on September 5th and September 21st, 2023.
Accept that. Thank you.
Also, the site is in compliance, and I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance.
We will certainly accept that. Thank you. Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none?
Finished, but that's okay.
Oh, you're not done?
Yeah, I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay. My apologies. I just heard it in compliance. That's all I need to hear.
Okay, I understand, believe me. Exhibit number 1 shows the NOV posting. Exhibit number 2 shows the wood fence in disrepair, but it's very difficult to see because of where I had to access the photo from. The fence was replaced, however, no permit was obtained, and the fence is facing the wrong way. This is a good side. It's facing the resident that installed the fence, so the site is in compliance, but I may be here next month to get a work without permit case that'll be opened up.
All right, so explain to me how they could be in compliance without getting the permit.
Well, because the fence was in disrepair, so since the old fence has been removed,
That's in compliance.
now it's in compliance. So now they're gonna have another, I have
It's
to open
backwards.
it is backwards, but
How's that in compliance?
because the old fence isn't there anymore.
Third fence isn't there anymore.
Right, so now I've got to open another case for a fence work without a permit, which will also include that it's facing the wrong way.
Okay.
Bureaucracy.
Because it's a separate violation.
Mr. job
I
security.
had to think about that one myself for a little while. Well, is it in compliance or is it out of compliance? Because it's not a permit, but it's like, it's all
You
separate.
can think of it as job security, right? You get
There you
to,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question though. This is the chain link fence?
No, it's a wooden fence.
You can see the.
Oh, okay, I see.
It's hard to see it because
Yes.
I could only access the site so far, and the section that's damaged is it's a side yard, but it's the rear part.
Rod,
of
let
the
me
side
ask you a question. How would you know a chain link fence was in backwards?
I don't know. That's why, it's confusing me a little.
Yeah, what side's the fencing
It's
on?
backward, it's backward.
That's good neighbors.
What do you mean backward?
I have a feeling that the reason they put it backwards is because,
The new fence is backwards.
right, the wood.
Oh, okay.
Face outward.
I imagine they did it because of the fact that the chain link fence is there, so without having access to get to the neighbor's property, right.
Okay, I see.
How they're gonna figure out, I don't know if they're gonna move the post 6 inches farther back, that's gonna be the contractor's issue.
Posts are on the inside, or should be on the inside.
They did not want to go into the property next door.
I would assume.
But they have it, so the wood fence is running parallel to the chain link
Chain
fence?
link.
Why would you need both?
Guess one had one, and I guess the people that had the house with the wood fence wanted privacy at some point.
Chain link fence belongs to
To the neighbor, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Belongs to that, yeah.
They only need privacy after a certain point.
Same situation.
Well, they have a pool in the back, so I have a feeling that somebody at some point in time probably wanted privacy because of the pool and put the wood fence in.
If, just out of curiosity, if the next door neighbor says that having the bad side, whatever, face them is okay with them, is that a reason? It's still not a good reason? Okay.
No, because then we kind of set a negative precedent.
Okay,
Kind of hard to
just curious.
I've seen that before.
But if they fix everything, get a permit and get this, is it gonna be still in front of us or? That's what,
Well, it depends, yeah, I mean, they could just take the wood, they don't have to have the wood fence because the chain link fence is there
Right.
to keep it secured, because there is a pool in the backyard to keep people from accessing the pool as long as there's fencing on the fronts.
But if they're gonna put a wood fence.
But if they're gonna
bad
put a
side,
wood
they have to
fence
face
in,
their
they've got to
property.
flip it around and get a permit.
they need a permit, so it's gonna be 2 violations in the future.
Correct.
Okay.
And actually, the property manager who was here earlier for the site that everybody was here complaining about manages that site as well, so I made her aware that the.
I wish it stayed.
Yeah, well,
Is he aware that the fence is backwards?
yes, I've made her aware of that, told her they need a permit, so.
Okay. Because most people are surprised when they hear that. And it makes sense, but most people are surprised, why does it matter, you know?
On the application of the permit, it tells you.
Tells you, yeah, which.
If you had gotten a permit, you wouldn't be surprised, right?
Surprised, exactly.
Okay. All right, that's all our cases tonight.
We didn't.
Oh, we didn't do anything with it yet, okay. Okay, so is there any other questions for the code officer?
Thank you.
Ready. Sure.
Seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
Do you want me to end
All
it?
right,
I'll end it.
Somebody.
I'll end it.
Somebody.
Go, if you're gonna go fast,
I'm gonna go very fast.
All right.
In case, no.
One's fast.
you're already.
In case number 23-4331, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 405 Park Ridge Avenue with the applicable code section 12-861 subsection E subsection 6. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, and along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there will be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second? Second. Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. That ends our new cases. Section D, unfinished business.
Okay. We're going to start with case number 231753, City versus Progress Residential Borrower 21 LLC for the property located at 9039 Water Chestnut Drive. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. Case number 232430, City versus Gordon Patel and Vishnukumar Patel for the property located at 12112 North 56th Street. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. Case number 23-2657, City versus Juan Santiago, for the property located at 5217 Parade Street. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Code Officer Doug Allen for Section 12-921, dated October 6, 2023. Case number 23-2749, City versus Padilla Rocio del Pilar Lopez, for the property located at 6102 Liberty Avenue. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Code Officer Lori Smith for Section 8-28A1, dated October 6, 2023. Case number 23-2894, City vs. Mission Street Homes LLC, for the property located at 7815 Ballard Drive. The deadline for compliance was September 13th, 2023. An affidavit of noncompliance was submitted by Code Officer Doug Allen for Section 12-861E6, dated September 15th, 2023. Case number 23-3104, City vs. Von Hoff Reese Ann, for the property located at 423 South River Hills Drive. The deadline for compliance was September 13th, 2023. An affidavit of noncompliance was submitted by Officer Silva for Sections 10-3B, 10-34, and 20-3, subsection 3A2, dated September 14th, 2023. Case number 23-3292, City versus Sandy Jimenez, for the property located at 8608 Grandview Drive. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Code Officer Jose Silva for the Section 8-28A1, dated September 29th, 2023. Case number 23-3293, City vs. JGC2 LLC, for the property located at 5406 Rainbow Drive. The deadline for compliance was September 13th, 2023. An affidavit of noncompliance was submitted by Code Officer Jose Silva for Section 8-28A1, dated September 14th, 2023. Case number 23-3577, City versus Singh Associates LLC, for the property located at 8604 Shirley Drive. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Code Officer Silva for Section 12-861E6, dated October 11th, 2023. Case number 23-4022, City versus Maria Garcia and Ashley Girardi, for the property located at 524 Lantern Circle. The deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Code Director Baroni for Section 10-35, dated September 18th, 2023. Case number 23-500141, City versus Shanahan Properties LLC, for the property located at 12601 North 56th Street. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Fire Inspector Squires for Section 8-56A, dated October 6, 2023.
Thank you. Okay, next we have the other board action. Any other board action? Lien list. Okay, you all have a spreadsheet in front of you. I don't expect you to review it all tonight. If you have any questions, you can reach out to Ernie, or we can talk about it at the next meeting. I do have a question for someone. As I recall, the star next to the case number means it's homesteaded. Is that correct? Okay. So there's a couple of these properties that have fairly large lien amounts, and I think I thought we had talked about doing asset searches and see what else we can do about some of these larger ones. For instance, 14-5858 is got $116,550 of lien on it at the moment. I see it's a rental housing case, but looks like it's a condo, Unit 304, that's not homesteaded. We have another one that is at 511 Rolling View Drive with $63,000 worth of fines on it. Is there partial lien release on property on 7-7? What does that mean?
It means that something went through foreclosure, more than likely is my guess, and something was released. I haven't had a chance, I think it was last time I was here, I asked that 4 be removed. I haven't had a chance to kind of research those yet. I've been kind of tied up with
Yeah, I mean, to me, anything over $30,000, we should either get them off the list because it's foreclosure or whatever the reason is, or see what we can do to do an asset search or to start some sort of foreclosure process.
Well, yeah, as I told you last month, I'm trying to go through them slowly. I just got pretty tied up this
That's fine.
month. But yeah, if I come across them, I'm gonna send out demand letters.
Yeah, and there's like another one on 78th Street that's 130,000, and there's no notes on it, so I assume it's.
And a reminder, that large one that's on the first page, that is going through the criminal court system.
David, can you remind me with the star what it means?
Star means it's a homesteaded property, which means we can't foreclose on it.
Oh, okay.
So it's homesteaded.
Which one is going through criminal courts?
The 560.
Means somebody is living there and you cannot.
Means it's their primary residence.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions on the liens? Okay, any new business? Again, I want to welcome our new member. Thank you for joining us. Maybe next meeting, don't talk so much. Okay. Hopefully it's been educational and entertaining, and we hope to see you back next month. Does anybody else have any new business? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no nays, we are adjourned, thank you.
Pretty sure we can, anything that's not, that isn't laminated.
Yeah, yeah.
We can take with us, right?